am on day 7 of my road to recovery from emotional eating. Um, when I say road to recovery from emotional eating, it seems like almost um, that it's a massive life changing problem I had. Um, and this is not so actually quite warm now from this tea. Enjoying herbal tea. Well, actually, it's a kind of fruity evening tea I'm having. So the emotional eating, it's not a massive issue for me as such. It's not really preventing me from living my life fully or anything like that. However, I've noticed this pattern, so I'm trying to address it and to correct it because I felt through emotional eating, some nights I would eat so much on top of already dinner I've eaten. I would eat some sweet snacks, some savory snacks, and I kind of keep on eating until I feel like really bloaty, until my stomach feels quite wanting to explode. If you ever had that feeling, you know what I mean. When your stomach is just so full that it seems like, you can't even do one little extra bit and it's gonna just like explode out. Um, so that's the kind of thing that sometimes I would catch myself doing that some evenings, especially when we're watching movies or something like that. So it's this almost mindless, just either out of habit or at times where I said that I'm kind of trying to stuff down or numb down some emotion. So if you watch some of my previous videos, you would have seen what kind of emotions I was battling at times. So it's not a massive deal, but I want to be in control of my eating and not let the food thoughts and almost out of control eating at times um, control my actions or control how I feel. I don't like the feeling of overeating, and I think it's not healthy to eat too late at night as well, and I have been doing that quite a bit lately. So it's not a massive issue, but I know how good I feel when I eat just for satiety, just for nutrition, and proper amounts of food, not over excessive amounts of food, or not mixing too many things, having too many things, because that's another thing. Lately I've been having just mixing up too many things and then feeling, you know, the food almost not coming up, but I don't know if you had that feeling when you mix too many foods, had too many foods, and the food almost regurgitates up almost a little bit. So I had that happen to me, once or twice lately, where I mixed too many foods, had too much food, and too many mixtures of different foods, where I felt a bit of indigestion almost kick in, yeah, because that's why you would get that regurgitation, because if there's not if you mix too many foods, you have too much food in your stomach, where your little clamp on top of your esophagus, if it doesn't quite close properly, or if you got too much food, perhaps with the acid and everything in there, maybe it's kind of overfilling and not allowing that to close, esophagus to close, and you kind of feel a bit of like acid or food almost coming up. So that's kind of how I imagine it, and maybe that's why it's happening. But yeah, mixing too many different foods is not great for your body, and it's not a great feeling. And I feel like if I mix too many different types of foods, I feel it stands in my stomach for much longer. if I had just one type of food, let's say, a dinner, a savory meal, but I didn't have too many sweet snacks, too many savory snacks together with it, then I feel it, digests properly. Whereas if I had, different kinds of snacky foods before, after, then I feel the meal doesn't digest as quick. It sits in my stomach and stays more heavy in my stomach. So anyway, so I wanted to catch you up with a couple of days of how I've been doing with my emotional eating. So yesterday, day 6, I had a really, really good day. I ate just for hunger, just the foods that I was supposed to eat when I was hungry. But then in the evening, I did have too big of portions. So I had quite a big dinner, which, kind of regress back, if you like, a little bit, because normally I've been really quite good with my portions. I haven't been, piling up my plates too high so that my portion felt really good. But yesterday, my portion was massive because I couldn't wait for my main meal. It was I had a bit of food before that, but then we had some chips, and I had this salad that I made, and I love salad, so I had like a half a plate of salad, but also another almost half a plate of chips, and that was way too much, together with the other couple of bread, maybe sandwiches or something I had. So as you can hear, it was a lot of food. So I had like a full plate of food that I would normally eat, plus a couple of bread sandwiches beforehand, or one maybe sandwich beforehand. So yeah, and also I didn't wait. I wanted to have a little bit of dessert. It's just this banoffee pie that I experimented with, I made, and I thought instead of having it after dinner, I actually had it before while I was waiting. So I had the dessert, and then I had those chips with the salad, and it was way too much, right? Yeah, I saw the question there pop up: how many times a day do I eat? Um, well, it depends. Probably normally about 3. So well, if you count snacks, it would be probably more. So in the morning, I would start eating something, some fruit, or some berries, maybe around 11, half 11, 12 o'clock. I might have some berries or an apple, and then at about 12 or 12:30, um, and then I have my lunch. Yeah, so I would have my lunch about maybe 12:30 or so, or 1 o'clock, depending, when I had my little fruit before, and then I would have my afternoon snack, which would be either dates, 2 or 3 dates, and maybe an apple later on. So maybe about 3 o'clock, and then maybe an apple at 4 o'clock. So not much, but something in between, and then I would have my dinner around 6 o'clock. So yeah, so I've just seen another message there, that not to mix types of foods to eat together, and that's a good advice. It's good to keep to one type of food and not to mix everything together. So yeah, that's what I try to do. I try to have like just fruit to start with, then have lunch. Normally would be a salad with some rye bread. I like having a slice of rye, organic rye bread, if I can find that in a health food store, or bake my own. So have a bowl of salad, and then I would have again either some dates with a cup of tea, and then I might have an apple or another piece of fruit later on. So I do have little snacks, but what I try and do, not give in to temptation to eat the chocolates or cookies in the office, because today I've resisted that temptation, because there were some bourbon biscuits in the office, and these are the ones that are vegan, right? So I would have them because I could have them if I wanted to. And I had some before when, when the company buys or people bring it into the office, some vegan biscuits or cookies, I would have some. But again, those store-bought biscuits are pure sugar and pure poison because they have so many nasty additives and things, and it's just, first of all, you obviously getting non-organic wheat in there, you getting tons of sugar, you getting fat or oils in there, and God knows what other ingredients are in there, so they're pure poisons. So yeah, so if you can resist having the store-bought biscuits, please do, because really I've already found out this the hard way, where I was like, oh, I'm having a cup of tea and there they are, the biscuits in the office, so tempting, and everybody's having, helping themselves to some biscuits. And I was tempted and I would have, but that's the thing, for me, if I start with store-bought biscuits, one or two biscuits, like I mentioned before, is not enough. I would want 3, 4, 5. I would almost want like a whole packet of biscuits to myself then. Obviously, I don't go that crazy in the office because people would be like, she's eating all our biscuits. But I would still go for maybe 3 biscuits, and after that, literally maybe about 10-15 minutes later, I get a headache. I really get a headache from all these poisons and nasties and the sugar in those store-bought biscuits, right? So yeah, so I've already learned my lesson that this is not a good idea to have those biscuits, store-bought biscuits, as a snack. So yeah, so at least if you have something healthier to hand, that's still better, even if you are not hungry, even if you're just eating out of emotional eating or just taste hunger or just playing with food. It's still better to eat healthier snacks than it is the store-bought ones, right? So yeah, but anyway, today I resisted the cookies. They were all there on the table, they were calling my name, but I resisted because I thought, no, I'm not doing this to myself. I remembered all the times when they caused me a headache, but literally instantly, nearly, about, like I said, 10-15 minutes, and straight away I get this headache. So yeah, my body knows that it's not good for us, and that's how you kind of start learning the signals. If you listen to your body will tell you what it wants to eat and what it doesn't. So yeah, so I resisted through the day and it was quite good. I wasn't not completely snacking. Like I said, I had some apples, I had some plums, like prunes, as well for my afternoon snack at work. However, it wasn't I wasn't overly stuffed. It wasn't too much, and it was okay. But in the evening tonight, I had a bit of a slip up or a step backwards again. So yesterday I've had too much food, where I've eaten too much and I felt like really overly full because I had that extra bit of dessert and kind of almost 2 dinners, if you like. Um, but um, but tonight, the portion size of my dinner was fine, but I did have a little bit of what's left over of the banoffee pie I had with a bit of um, rice custard I made to go with that, and that would have been okay. But then later on, just now, about half an hour ago or so, um, I showed my husband that I made some blackcurrant jam, and he was having a slice, and and he was, "Did you try it?" I was like, "No, actually, I haven't tried it yet." He's like, "Oh well, do you want a bite?" I was like, "Oh well, I'll just have a slice." So I made myself a slice, on organic bread. I made a slice, of blackcurrant jam, and you know what? I kind of made the decision that I'm okay with that. I know it's too late. I know I shouldn't have had it realistically because I wasn't hungry, but I made the choice that actually I wanted to have it. So it kind of wasn't emotional eating, but it was just taste hunger. I wanted to taste what the blackcurrant jam that I made tasted like. So yeah, so I had it. Because I was gonna have a cup of tea anyway, and so I had a slice of toast and blackcurrant jam, homemade blackcurrant jam. And you know what? That's okay. Do not be too harsh on yourself. Do not beat on yourself on, slipping up or making a mistake. Just remember, we're human. You can always do better, and I think I need to get out of that thought pattern that if I started it already, then it doesn't matter. I can eat, 10 slices now, or how many slices. Because I was tempted after I had that one slice, I was thinking, oh, well, I'm kind of already messed up tonight, so maybe I'll have another slice because it was quite nice. But I've stopped myself, right? So yeah, don't have this, black or white vision. That's what I'm trying to get out of myself as well. This kind of all or nothing mentality as well, which is not really helpful. And I'm trying to be less judgmental and kinder to myself. So I thought, you know what? I know I'm gonna have to tell you guys that that I've eaten, too much tonight and last night, and I still chose to have that piece of toast or a slice of bread with the jam, but I'm okay with that. I'm just human. I'm just human being like you and anybody else, right? And that's okay. And that's another lesson, I think, for myself and for you, not to be too harsh on yourself. Do not judge yourself too harshly. Let yourself make the mistakes, learn from them, feel into them, and just be okay with being human. Because that's another thing, we all have light and dark sides to us, okay? So it's okay not to be perfect, and that's another lesson I think I need to embrace, because we sometimes are so kind of not sure the word I'm looking for, but we are so either good or bad. You're like, oh, I'm such a good girl, like I can't think any negative thoughts, or I can't, ever gossip about anybody. I can't ever be jealous of anybody. I can't ever be angry at anybody. I need to be good. I need to be perfect. But that's not the case. We are angry and we are happy. We are content and we are jealous. We might say a bad word about somebody accidentally or just not thinking. Um, you know, we are not perfect. We are human beings. So the same with the eating. You're not going to be perfect, but just embrace that and move through it, and learn from it perhaps. So yeah, so I'm learning my lessons. So to me, why I'm doing this, I want to be more in control of my eating. I want to be in peace with the way I eat, so my body feels light all the time. I love that feeling of having a light body, nourished body, but not overstuffed. And that's the kind of direction I'm moving towards. I am eating the right kind of foods, but now I need to just tweak the amounts of foods I eat, how often I eat, and so that my mind is not always dominated by thoughts of food, because that's what currently happens. My mind is dominated by food a lot of the time, And that's not a healthy thing. There's so many more things to think about in life, not just food. And food should be just a vehicle for nutrition, for health, granted, but that's not the main part of life, right? There's so many more important things to think about and do than concentrate on food. So yeah, so I want for that food part, the healthy food, the healthy way of eating, healthy portions, to become a way of life, like what whole food, plant-based food is for me. So I don't eat oil in my food. I try to avoid too much sugar. I do use unrefined cane sugar. I do use some maple syrup. So kind of things like that. But I try to stay away from super processed foods. I don't eat white flour, white rice, refined grains and things like that. So I'm already on whole food plant based way, but I want the portion sizes and the times I eat to become more automatic like that as well. So yeah, let me know down below if you have any questions or if you want to share your journey. Join me on my Telegram group. So I'll link down below the group where you can join and be accountable to me, to others, how we're on this journey to kind of recover from emotional eating. And like I say, recovery just sounds a bit dramatic, so it's not, it's not that dramatic, not for me anyway. It's not caused me massive issues in my life, but I just want to be more in control of my eating, and that I always feel comfortable in my body without being too bloated and kind of blaming myself for eating when I should, I wasn't even hungry. So yeah, so that's enough ranting for tonight, guys. It's getting late. Let me know how you feeling on your journey. So we're 7 days in. So if this is going to be 21 days, then we are a third way in. Wow, it's been a week, right? So a third way in. So let's see what the rest of the other 2 weeks will bring. So we'll go 21 days, but we'll see whether it needs to continue on. We'll see where the journey leads me. But for now, guys, I hope you had a lovely Tuesday, and I'll see you tomorrow night probably.